What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. So it is a very warm and beautiful day here in November, and that doesn't really happen too often, so I kind of figured I'd capitalize on it and make a video. So I actually posted on my Instagram. I told you guys to ask me some questions and I'll basically make a video and answer all of them. I got a lot of great questions. However, I got a few that'll actually pop on the screen right now that kind of inspired me to make this video specifically. I will answer all the other questions later on, but I kind of want to focus on those questions because it's about something I never really talked about, and that is, why did I get into BMWs, and do I only plan on sticking with BMWs for the rest of my life and for the rest of this channel? So if you guys have been watching my channel, you'll know that I basically only post about BMWs. I have my 435, I have this 330, I have an X3 M40, literally only BMWs. I had a Civic, but I literally never made a video about it. So although I haven't solely owned BMWs, I've definitely only made videos about BMWs. However, guys, that wasn't really intentional or really planned out. It kind of just happened to be that way. So I want to talk to you guys about that today. Is how did I get into BMWs? How did my channel become about BMWs? And will I only stick with BMWs for myself personally and for the future of this channel? So I'm actually just gonna set you guys down right over there, and don't judge me, but I'm gonna turn on the AC because it is legit hot outside today, which is pretty crazy. It's early November, and by this time it's usually cold, but not today. It's literally hot. But yeah, anyways guys, let's get into it. So let's start from the beginning. What actually got me into BMWs? So I actually got into BMWs way back in the day. I'm sure like you guys, I grew up watching Fast and Furious. I grew up playing Need for Speed, and one of the main games that I played was Need for Speed Most Wanted. If you guys remember the E46 M3, and it was sort of like their halo car of that game. It was a beautiful, beautiful car. I loved it. A lot of people did. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I honestly got into BMWs. And I mean, just looking at the old school 5 Series, the E46, the E36, the E30 was always cool, but I think it was more so like the E36 and the E46 that really made me love BMWs and just their designs. So that's really what got me into BMWs. Now, I won't say that I was just like, you know, 100% BMW. I only want a BMW. I always wanted one, but I wasn't like, you know, I still loved Lexus, I loved Mercedes, I loved Audi. So I was never really just like 100% BMW from the beginning. It wasn't like that. However, when I got my first car, of course, I had that Honda Civic just because it was practical. It made sense. I was going to college. I needed a car that was going to turn on every day, save money on gas. Eventually, a few years later, it was finally time for me to buy like a proper car. I graduated college. I had some real money. And believe it or not, guys, the car that I wanted to buy was not actually that 435. It was actually a Honda Civic Type R. It was when the new Type Rs first dropped. I really, really wanted it. I literally went to a Honda dealership to get one. If I couldn't get a Honda Civic Type R, I was actually going to get a Honda Civic Si, just kind of keeping in line with that whole practicality mindset and the car just turning on every day and not giving me issues. Between the two, the Si and the Type R, of course, I wanted the Type R. I was talking to one of my brothers about it, and he basically told me that it looked like a kid's car, which I mean, I kind of can't blame him for saying. If you guys know the Type R that I'm talking about, it was overly designed, massive wings, fake vents everywhere. In the line of work that I'm in, so I work in finance, I basically go to clients and stuff like that. I probably want to have look good, me pulling up to a professional environment in those cars every single day. So he told me to get something a little more classy, sophisticated. So that's when I started looking at used BMWs, used Mercedes. Again, I still wasn't 100% gonna get a BMW, but the 335, the 435 was definitely one of my options. I was also looking at like a C43 and an S3 from Audi, so still BMW was not on the top of my mind. However, after doing a whole bunch of research, watching a bunch of reviews, talking to people, I decided to get either a 435, a 335, or a 235. I found a whole bunch of 335s. Wasn't, you know, too crazy about them. I was never really like a 4-door type of guy. Although the Type R was a 4-door. But anyways, so it was really between the 235 for me and the 435. Of course, guys, I ended up going with the 435. Also still a very fun car, very fast, and it had a more sophisticated, classy look to it. I mean, it's a BMW. So after that, I fell in love with the 435. I fell in love with BMWs, the tunability of them, the way that they looked, the sophisticated nature and the sporty nature. I think BMW just has that perfect amount of like sophistication and sportiness to them. Like, they look like a car that you can take to the track, but at the same time, they look like a car that you can show up in a black tie event to. So I always loved that about BMWs. And yeah, just overall, I fell in love with BMW. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like Mercedes, I still like Lexus, I still like Honda, but I still think BMW just has the right amount of pretty much everything to them. So at that point, I kind of just stuck with BMWs. And as you guys know, even after the 435, I ended up getting more BMWs. I got the 330, I got the X3 M40, and I even ordered myself an M car. So I've definitely been sticking with BMWs. Now, I'm not gonna say I still only love BMWs. There's still a lot of other cars that I'd love to have from like Mercedes and Lexus and Audi and all those different types of brands, and even Hondas. Like, I would love a Mercedes AMG GT. I think those cars are sick. And even one of my dream cars to this day is an EK Civic hatchback, so I would still love to get some of those cars. Now, am I going to get them? Probably not anytime soon. I think for the class of car that I'm currently in, I don't really see a car that I like more than a BMW. Now, obviously, if I go like next tier, like a Porsche would be sick, that AMG GT would be sick, but those cars are sort of like next level in my opinion, but sort of like a, I guess, like sports sedan or sporty, like two-door, not a sports car, but a sporty car. I just think BMW does it best. Now, I know that's going to trigger some people. I'm not saying that they are the best. It's just, in my opinion, I like the way that they're designed the most. I really like the tunability of the engines that are in the cars. So sticking to this same class of car, I can't really see myself moving outside of the BMW world. Now, again, like I was saying, once I start going next level, Porsches, AMG GTs, maybe even like a Lamborghini Huracan, or even an Audi R8, which would be sick. Once I get to that level, I can see myself moving away from BMW. Will I continue to make YouTube videos about those cars? Of course I will. I know a lot of my audience likes BMWs, but I'm sure you guys will appreciate those cars as well, even if you don't own them yourselves. So I would still like to continue to make videos about those cars. I know I'm a pretty big BMW fanboy, like, I won't lie about it. But again, guys, I'm not only about BMWs. It's just right now, for the class of car, like, yeah, I could get a Mercedes C43 or a C63, but an M3 just interests me a lot more. But again, for that next level of car, I'd rather get a Porsche 718 than like maybe like an M8, if that makes sense. So in this class, guys, we're gonna be sticking with BMWs. Hopefully we'll get to a point someday where we can expand outside of BMW. So to answer the question, no, I do not see myself sticking to BMWs my entire life. Probably for YouTube, maybe I'll stick to BMWs depending on how it goes, because again, I know what gets views on this channel is BMWs. We'll definitely stick with BMWs. We'll always have at least one at all times, but hopefully we can expand to new things like Porsches, Lamborghinis, but we're still a long way off from that. Until then, guys, we're gonna keep on pushing, we're gonna keep on grinding. Hopefully this channel can grow. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who subscribed. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, even when they're a little more casual like this. I definitely appreciate you guys. I would like to remind you that I'm still planning on doing the giveaway. Right now, we're kind of leaning towards doing some gift cards to Inline6 Auto, which, as you guys know, I put a whole bunch of his products on my cars. He offers a whole bunch of like carbon fiber pieces, front lips, diffusers, carbon mirror caps, interior trims. So if you guys are interested in that 5,000 subscriber giveaway, please stay tuned, because I will be releasing more info about that and how that's gonna work later on. Anyways, guys, with that said, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button while you're at it. And yeah, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.